I often talk about next level designs, value and specifications. And as collectors, that's what we're constantly looking for in our watches. But next level watchmaking can come in many different forms. And in my opinion, that can also be in how we look at sourcing our components, materials. That is something that is at the forefront of today's brand, Detrash. And they've sent me their latest diver, the Great White, for you to have a look at. They also currently have a Black Friday sale running, so this could be the perfect time for you to pick up a new watch. My name's Jason, I'm your watch guy today. Let's get into it. Now, you may have seen Detrash and their dive pieces on my channel before. If you haven't, let me tell you a little bit about them. Detrash are an environmentally friendly, forward-thinking company, but they do it in a way that I have not seen on the watch market before. Usually with these recycled watches, they're cheap-looking plastic things that often look like you can tell why they were thrown away. That's not the case with Detrash. As you can see, their watches are fully stainless steel, and they present themselves as an everyday diver. But they are made of 80% recycled materials, as well as having recycled nylon bands and environmentally friendly packaging. This isn't exactly the Greta Thunberg of the watch world, but it'll definitely make you feel a little bit better about purchasing a new watch for your collection. Now, the last time that I reviewed Detrash, I noted that one of my complaints was the high polished side profiles, and that is often one of my concerns in watches. Now, that being said, after speaking to the brand owner, it turns out that I had picked out one of the only watches available on their lineup right now that actually has high polished sides. Most of their other watches feature brushing, and that includes this Great White. So already we're on the up. It does, however, come with that really wearable size. Yes, it is thick at 12.9mm, but what else are we going to expect from a dive piece? It's 41mm in diameter, and I think that's a pretty universal size for any everyday piece, along with the 47mm lug to lug distance. The straight brushing throughout the lugs and side profiles, as I mentioned earlier, is perfectly highlighted by the polished chamfered edges. It does add a lovely dynamic to that case. This piece also continues the fantastic nailed grip to the bezel. That's a 120 click unidirectional dive bezel. I did mention this in the last review, but that grip really does bring me back to the first time that I saw the Seiko Samurai. The radial brushed, fully stainless steel bezel is something that we don't often see much of. There is no insert here, it is just one block of material. The numerals are indented to it, there is no colour to fill them, and it definitely adds a slightly industrial look, as well as that more rustic stainless steel bezel type of look that I really enjoy. The screw down case back displays the NH35 movement that runs this watch, but you can also see Guy, their surfing pilot mascot, on the back there. I really like that. You know I'm a fan of goofy watchmaking, so yeah, it really does it for me. He also signs the crown, which is screwed into the case and has a fantastic heavy grip to it. Really easy to get hold of and use. And obviously as a diver, we need a decent water resistance. 200 meters, that does it for me. Detrash described this one as exactly what it says on the tin. Great and white. You can see that with the more bright display of the dial below that sapphire crystal. Now, in my last review, I complimented their textured dial. That is not the case here. This is a flat printed dial, but I think I actually like this one much more. It's more playful with the use of colours. It's simplistic whilst also really attractive. If I didn't know what this watch was about, then I'd definitely assume that it was some sort of collaboration with a basketball team or the NBA. But I do love those orange tones, and the blue matches perfect. The 12 and 6 numerals differentiate themselves with that orange tone, while the rest of the print is in that more classic navy blue. The handset also flows with that, with the blue borders and the orange fill, whilst that NH35 powered sweeping second hand has a lovely pop of colour with the orange. I love the font that they've used in these numerals. Again, very playful. They almost have a fun dynamic to them. Overall, it's an incredibly clean display, but it has some really fun elements to it. The nylon band that is fitted to this piece definitely fit the ideals of Detrash, but also when you have it on wrist and how comfortable it is, it does everything that you could really want it to. It is a tied nylon band, and that navy blue colour really sets off the rest of the tones throughout the watch. I also love that it's two-piece, so it doesn't add any heft to the watch itself, and the buckle on this one is super substantial, fully brushed, and again brings home that more industrial type of effect. Now, this is where the Black Friday offer comes in. Right now, you can get £40 off their dive pieces, as well as a completely free second band. Personally, I think with this one, I would love to pick it up with an orange and a navy band. I think the sort of summer days and winter days type of dynamic there would work perfectly with this piece. Is there anything more ideal? We are now at the point of this review where I have to tell you about my downsides. So let's get into it. I think my main concerns around this watch are obviously about it being a diver, and there's a few aspects to that. Now, the 200-meter water resistance, absolutely spot on, no complaints at all. But if you're going to want it to be functional as a dive piece, you need more legibility in that bezel, as well as maybe some crown guards. But the most important part about that for me is, as you probably noticed, I didn't mention the lume, and that's because it's very underwhelming. Now, the issue that they have here is that they're using certain color tones that are going to be very difficult to give a bright lume with, and that, I think, really eliminates it as a serious dive watch. But it also makes sense in a lot of ways, because this brand is definitely aimed more towards the sort of surfer aesthetic, those beach day divers, not the let's go in a submarine type of diver. So in a way, I get that aesthetic really works for them. In another, I have to rule it out as a serious dive piece. At £335 on sale, I think that these are a really good deal, especially with that second strap. They offer a lot of fun and then maybe a little more serious designs, and I really love that dynamic to a brand. They don't take themselves too seriously, even though their message is, well, serious. They know how to have fun with it, and I love that. Thank you for watching today, guys. These pieces are limited edition, so if you are interested in them, make sure you get hold of one as soon as you can, and this Black Friday sale is the perfect opportunity to do it. Now, they are linked in the description below. Go and check them out, but also go and check out their social media pages, because they have some incredible looking watches coming up very soon. I think that they really changed the entire dynamic to the brand, and I'd love to see one. Remember, if you want more watch content, subscribe to the channel down below, and I will see you in the next one.